Looks like we're going live, connecting. Oh yeah, we're going live, baby. It is Monday. Welcome back. Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. Yes, it is Monday. It's a new week with new opportunities, so get excited. We've got some really good TA coming in to you hot here from Monday morning in Westlake Village, California. So what did we talk about last week? The housing numbers, and we said, well, if existing home sales were down for December, Powell would be happy, right? And if they were up, he would be sad. So we should have a nice little thumbnail of Mr. Powell crying a river. And that's why. Why is that? Home sales were up for December. And what is the big news today? Well, it is tech companies, tech layoffs. Yeah, more than 55,000 tech workers are being laid off as Microsoft, Google, and others make deep cuts. Deep cuts. Oh, yeah, that guy looks like a crook right there. All told, yeah, 55,300 employees are going to get laid off. Salesforce, Microsoft, Google. I just saw Spotify laying some people off. And you wonder, is the economy healthy? Why would they be laying all these people off if the economy was so healthy, right? And so what are we going to look at today? We're going to take a deep dive in Bitcoin. We'll take a look at Ethereum, gold and silver. I got a lot of requests last week for Jasmine and XLM. And we're also going to take a look at the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. And again, welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. If you're not familiar, my name's Chris Mitchell, and I love to bring you these cryptocurrency videos bright and early. And today at the end, if you watch the end of the stream, we're going to give away a 1 ounce silver American Eagle proof. We're going to show you how to win. I tell you what, 3 people won last week. It was really easy to jump in there and just get some free money. So, and the most interesting part we're going to go over today is the signal on how to identify if the macro low is in and when it's up only time for Bitcoin in my book. And we've got some indicators for that. But I want to bring our attention again, starting it off with our bias on the dollar here. We just closed a 6-month shooting star candle here. And typically that is a bearish candle, giving us the inclination that very likely the dollar comes down and tags this 9 exponential over the next 6 months at some point, and that would bring the dollar down to about 99 bucks. And when the dollar goes down, it provides the opportunity for risk assets to start going up. And I want to bring us down to the lower term time frames, actually, because I know there's a bit of a clickbait title there, a 200K trade, and I will take the trade if I see the opportunity while we're on stream, and I will identify those areas for you if you want to make a little money, right? And so first things first on the dollar here, I want to talk about bullish and bearish divergence. And what do I see here on the 50-minute time frame? That's what I was looking at a bit earlier this morning, and perhaps a shot up to the top side of the range. So I'm just going to slow my thinking down here just a bit and try to get into my dollar analysis, because the dollar does really provide a nice bias buster. When the dollar goes down, even on the shorter term time frames, it is such a one-to-one correlation with the NASDAQ and with Bitcoin and the S&P. If you know where the dollar is going, I mean, you literally have a crystal ball to the future for the economies here. So the dollar got shafted going starting in November. It was actually the exact peak. When the dollar peaked, guess what? Gold bottomed, right, and started to rally. So what am I seeing here? First things first, on the 15-minute time frame, it did look like we wanted to get kicked out of the bullish control zone with a bit of a top right here. And do we have any divergence coming back from this pivot right here? Yes, so we had one drive, perhaps 2 drives? No, just about one drive. So what is divergence? So you can clearly see there is a lower high here than this high, right? And in comparison on the RSI has made a higher high. So that is one drive of divergence. And to me, what I want to see is more like, oh, I want to see 3 drives for a big move. So perhaps the dollar does have enough to get back up here one more time and put in a couple more drives. Let's see if I see anything else here. So from this high right here to this high, bear with me just a second here. So yes, and coming back from this pivot here, if you want to call that a high, that would give us the multiple drives on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, that would give us several drives of bearish divergence. This being a bit of a top, and so on, it looks like at least, call that 1, 2, 3, 4 drives. That could send the dollar back to the bottom side of the range. In fact, all the way back down to about 101.65. So putting it together, the pieces of the puzzle here, as NASDAQ, it's about 716, and NASDAQ's up 118, up 1%. So tech companies rallied, and maybe it's, you know, what's going on right now is the tech companies are laying people off, right? And that is what Jerome Powell wants. Jerome Powell, believe it or not, he wants unemployment to go up. Why? He wants y'all to stop spending so much money, right? The more money you spend, the higher inflation will go. So if you lay people off, that's more in line with what Powell wants. And then the tech companies become leaner machines, right? They need to trim some of the fat, right? And so that would be more on the bearish for the dollar side, because when the economy starts doing what Jerome Powell wants, the dollar comes down. And when the dollar comes down, risk assets do get the opportunity to rally. So bearish divergence there, and that kind of gives me the bias on the 15-minute time frame for a little downside action. Now, how would I invalidate that? And where do I think, you know, possibly the dollar could rally just a bit higher here? Well, the hourly time frame, we got this purple 200 coming in right here. Purple 200, and in fact, oh, this is what I was looking at. On the daily time frame, which is a more powerful time frame, the more powerful the time frame, the higher chance, the stronger the signal is going to be. And what do I see here? Well, this is a bit of a Wyckoff accumulation box. I don't trade based off of Wyckoff, but I just know that that's what that is. And what happens is if we close above this wick, this high here at 102.88, any kind of a daily closure above there, very likely we're going to head up to 104.64. And if the dollar does put in a short-term rally, that is more of a, if the dollar puts in a short-term rally, that could indicate that Bitcoin does put in a short-term top. Not saying a macro top, not saying a macro reversal. We will go over the kind of bias busters for Bitcoin's kind of short-term rally coming to an end, as we are hitting some of the targets we've been talking about. 24,000, 24,000, 24,000. If you watch the prior videos, we've been talking about it since, I don't know, the past week or so. But what else do I see here on the dollar? We got a death cross on the dollar, right? So that's when the green 55 and the purple 200 cross to the downside. And what do you want to see for a perfect death cross is you want to see it get sucked up into the cross, price action gets sucked up in there and then spit back out. And that's, in fact, when you get the best crosses, in my opinion. Again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Oh, you got to love that disclaimer, guys. Now I'm fully relieved of all bad decisions you make on your own, okay? Just kidding. Now, on the other side of the fence, so again, why are we harping on the dollar? The dollar is the king. King dollar. You want to know why the dollar is the strongest currency in the world, huh? Why? We got 10,000 nukes backing the U.S. dollar. Now, not Joe Biden and not the leftist mafia and all their corruption and all their garbage. We're talking about the U.S. dollar, which is the world reserve currency at the moment. And until things change, until the trend changes, right? Let the trend be your friend till the end of the trend. That is the great old saying. And I will be getting into the XLM and the Ethereum and the gold and the silver, but I want to make sure you guys know and understand, and for myself, guys, I'm just putting my own thoughts out on paper, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. I'm putting my own thoughts out on paper. That way it makes sense for me when I go and take my own trades, right? And so, again, if the dollar is going to put in and here's also what I would say, is we're finally getting the inclination of, on the daily, this thing is rolling over, our volatility indicator. So if this white line here, which is the moving average, this is the BBWP, which measures the distance of the Bollinger Bands. It's a volatility indicator. When volatility is expanding, you expect the price to go in the direction of the trend, i.e., volatility became extremely low, volatility starts to expand, and what happens? The dollar comes down, it goes in the direction of the trend, and this is the momentum indicator, again, the stochastics. So currently, daily stokes are crossed up, and we also see that a mean reversion bounce will take place when volatility begins to decline. So what is a mean reversion bounce? In a sense, that is when the price goes in the opposite of the trend. So if this just gets a negative slope today, which could very possibly do by having a daily closure above 102.88. Again, 102, call it this yellow 21 to be more conservative, which will come down on the next tick. And the 9 has been governing for some time. Also notice, the more times you touch that 9 exponential, the weaker it gets, right? It's like these trend lines, they're like a piece of glass, right? The more times you punch that trend line, the weaker the glass gets. The more touches, eventually it's going to break. And that would be completely healthy. I mean, as a matter of fact, the dollar has not touched the green 55. We've touched the yellow 21 several times and the purple 200. So it wouldn't be out of line for a box, but for a little bit of a bounce on the dollar. But that will not be validated until we get a daily closure above 102, call it 103 on the dollar, and to the downside it'd be 101.50. And that would invalidate this, and I would say the next target down if we do close anywhere below. And that's what you want to see. If you're bullish on Bitcoin and bullish on the NASDAQ, then you want to see a closure below this level at 101.50, and very likely the next target gets hit at about 170, following 99.36. So that would give us the odds. That would probably, in my book, have Bitcoin shatter through the previous high at 24,000 bucks, right? This is where we're looking for Bitcoin to head up. We haven't quite got there. We're looking for one more push to the north side on Bitcoin. So after I've harped on the dollar for some time, I want to get into Bitcoin and how. So there is a potential for a bounce on the dollar, but it hasn't shown us anything yet. Hasn't given us anything yet. And today there's no major economic news coming out. So I do believe that gives the bias for, when there's no economic news, this whole, oh, look at that. Elliott takes a major stake in Salesforce. What do you know? That's popping up on the screen. I like Elliott Management. They're one of the guys that, have been quite good at calling the markets in the past.
Team Frosty says yes. Someone who used DXY in their crypto analysis.
Yes. It is. I mean, I'm telling you, if you watch the dollar all day long and you watch Bitcoin, it is 100% like correlated. It is extremely correlated. And in fact, the dollar tends to lead the entire market. So if the dollar starts ripping to the upside, what do you mean? Or what do I think? I start grabbing some shorts, right? If the dollar starts ripping to the downside, well, it's probably time to take some longs. And additionally, you know, the dollar can provide, if you're already in a long or a short, the dollar kind of reacts first, and then you can go, okay, I can hold this and maybe take profits at a higher or lower price, you know, depending on if you're short or long. But I have some clients out there that really want to know what's up with the stock market. So I will jump into that. But I'm going to get into getting down and dirty with some Bitcoin analysis right now because, well, one, back onto what I'm looking at here. So dollar right now is putting in a short-term rally, and I do believe that it will get stopped out here. You know, if it does come a little bit higher, you know, this is an indecision candle on the hourly, a bit of a doji, and if we cannot take out that wick, the purple 200 will not get hit, and we'll reverse from this point. And let's see how many drives of bearish divergence we will have coming back from here. No, let's see. Yeah, from right here. So as you can see, this pivot right here on the dollar, you're making a slew of lower highs on the dollar and then a slew of higher highs in the RSI. So again, for those of you who are not familiar with bullish or bearish divergence, this is another indicator that I use that is just phenomenal for getting massive price action. And this is just an hourly time frame, but you can see, I'll just mark off the pivot so you can see it here. So we got this high right here and these lower highs, right? And this is really going to firm up the bias here today, guys. So I promise I won't be too much longer on the dollar. And when the dollar goes down, not only does, you know, risk like NASDAQ and S&P and Bitcoin go up, well, you know the dollar is going down. Well, you know gold and silver is probably going to rally. And when you know Bitcoin's going to rally, what else is going to rally? Ethereum. What else is going to rally? Your favorite altcoins are going to start moonshotting like Gala, Sand, Mana, which, by the way, if you don't know this, metaverse and gaming coins have been the best assets on the market, period, for 2023. Put away your bonds, put away your stocks, and just look at metaverse and gaming coins. You would have just shot it to the moon. Hate to say that, right? I don't want to be in the metaverse. I hate video games. I am not a gamer. I'm an athlete. I'm a triathlete. Check out my Instagram handle. I was out there riding my bike in the freezing cold this weekend. Joe, I'm telling you, bro, we froze on Sunday morning at 5 a.m., 5:45, got out there. In California weather, it was 30 degrees, bro. 30 degrees. You're going 20, 25 miles an hour. I had hand warmers. I had feet warmers. My head about popped off. It was so cold. Absolutely crazy. So my point being, I don't care. You know, I don't like video games, but I'm happy to make money off of it. I am more than happy to take some longs on some gaming coins if the timing is just right. So back to our point here. So lower high, that's 3 lower highs. If this gets confirmed right here, even on stream, we got 30 minutes left, so I don't know if I'm going to stream that long here, but any kind of an hourly closure, you know, really more aggressive traders will take it below the prior wick, which is right there. More conservative traders will say, okay, below the 0.5 or the yellow 21 right there. And that would confirm this as a local high, and you'd be looking for a shot back to the bottom side of the range. And very, very likely, Bitcoin takes its last push to the upside today or tomorrow. Okay, so I do like this for our analysis, and I'll peel it back one more step here on the 30-minute. Stokes are crossing down. You know, volatility is declining, so, you know, we may hang out here for a little while. But as stocks are ripping to the upside, NASDAQ up 1%. That question?
Yeah, Keem Frosty wants to know, is Solana coming back?
Well, if you've been watching Solana price action over the past week or so, I would say it has taken quite a comeback from the lows. We'll check out some Solana here, but I wanna bring us back to Bitcoin and what we said at the beginning of the video is how to identify when a macro low is in. When is it going to be up only for Bitcoin in my book? And we've got a lot of indicators all coming together, holding the pieces together here. And the first way to, okay, so I'm going to get onto Bitcoin and look, we're starting, we may confirm this as a top even on stream, or we may not. But I'm going to get into Bitcoin on more of a macro analysis here because it is Monday. We did just close the week yesterday. And look at this candle, bullish engulfing. No, not quite. Not quite, but this is a 30-minute time frame. So I'm going to get into the weekly for Bitcoin and talk about the first step to identifying a macro low in Bitcoin land. In cryptocurrency land is what? A higher low on the weekly time frame. This is the very first step. To get a trend reversal, what do you need? You need what is an uptrend and what is a downtrend? An uptrend is when you're making higher lows and higher highs. What is a downtrend? You're making lower lows and lower highs. So we've been in a weekly downtrend for an awful long time. In fact, since, all the way back here with the first confirmed on a closing basis, lower low, lower high right there. However, you could have confirmed it with this candle basis, lower low and lower high up here. Anyways, we won't get into that. But here you can see clear lower highs and lower lows all the way through, all the way down. And if you've been following our channel for some time, you would know what I'm talking about. But we did identify this 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. As soon as we closed above this candle right here, confirming this as your first higher low on the weekly time frame. So that is the first piece of the puzzle that we want to see for a macro trend reversal. The next, so again, higher low on the weekly time frame. Very powerful time frame, and obviously you can see the results therewith after. Big girthy green candle to your face and follow through on the next one. Next thing we want to see is extreme lows on the volatility indicator, which we did see. This is the BBWP. How would I define an extreme low? Is anything below 10 percentile. Okay, so very, very low lows on the BBWP at this point right here. We got the extreme lows on BBWP. Okay, and the next thing we wanted to see was the blue buy signal on the hash ribbons indicator. The hash ribbons indicator, no, it does not make you hash browns. No, it has to do, you know what? I'm going to look up the definition here one day and I'm going to read it to you guys. But this is the hash ribbons indicator. This is the blue buy signal. It's really simple. My 10-year-old or my 16-year-old, my 6-year-old daughter can figure this one out. It says buy and it turns blue. And typically if you buy after that blindly, and we've gone over past prior results, I'll just show you a couple here. Off of this blue buy signal, right? You would have got a 76% gainer. This blue buy signal back here on the weekly time frame, you guys are going to laugh. Oh, you got the blue buy signal? Oh, okay. 240%, not bad. Now, is this a way to trade and have risk management and have a plan and a strategy? Absolutely not. But I just want to show you this is one of the pieces of the pie of the portfolio showing us a macro low is in. Okay, one of the last pieces of the pie for me is going to be a golden cross on the daily time frame. So I'm going to get back to our primary chart here. And I'm going to talk about the golden cross on the BLX index because it has the longest price history for Bitcoin. The BLX index, symbol BLX. Not my favorite thing to trade off of, but for macro perspectives, this is going to do it for me. And what you want to see is a golden cross on the daily time frame. So vice versa, we had a death cross right there. And I guess this could make it a little more easy to identify if I take some of these other indicators off. I'm going to take off the 21. I'm going to take off the 9. And I'm just going to leave the green 55 and the purple 200. So it's really easy to see on the daily time frame, guys. Death cross, down. Golden cross, up. Bit of a fake out on this one. Again, there's a way to identify when you get faked out. But look at this past prior golden cross right here. When did this happen? Just curious. When did that happen? That was May 2020 during the pandemic. Didn't catch the ultimate low, but certainly caught the low. And what else happened is you want to see price action sucked into the cross just like that. So very similarly, as the dollar is experiencing that death cross, what happened here on this golden cross? Well, price action got sucked into the cross. Almost, usually, even this over here, I would consider is, close enough is close enough, providing you an excellent entry for, now this one, not so great right here. Let's see, golden cross. If you just bought the golden cross, 14%, not bad in like 1 week. I guess that's better than your bank account will pay you all year long. I guess that's more than your stockbroker would ever pay you all year long. No.
James Bretsky wants to go over the blue buy signals and the blue buy signals that don't have huge percentage gains.
Okay. Why don't we do that really quick while we're on stream here? Before I get to nail that point in, for all the pieces of the pie of the puzzle, right? 1, higher low on the weekly time frame. 2, extreme lows on the BBWP. 3, the blue buy signal. And 4, the golden cross. And you get all 4 pieces of the pie of the puzzle, and we could say Bitcoin's probably, and again, TA is not an exact science. It's more of an art form, right? It's more, by the way, if you guys are enjoying the content, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our TikTok. We're going to do a live stream at the end of today. We're going to give away some free silver. 1 ounce silver American Eagle proof. Super easy to win. So tune in a bit later today and get notified by like and subscribe and tickle the bell, right?
Tickle the bell.
All right.
We got India in here.
So, all right. So my last point is we have not gotten the golden cross yet on the daily time frame. So we're getting there, but we're not quite there yet. And that is on the daily time frame. Okay. Now, I do have a few other indicators I'm going to go over that add confluence to kind of a macro low being put in, but I'm going to just review this weekly hash ribbons indicator. Sorry. Here we go. And I'm going to clean up the chart here a little bit so you guys can see it. By the way, this accumulation distribution indicator flashing green right there. Again, that's another indicator. The MACD crossing up to the upside on the weekly. What about on the monthly? The monthly MACD has not crossed up yet, but the histogram is losing quite a bit of... anyways, I'll touch on that maybe tomorrow because we're running out of time here. And I'm gonna mention this as well. There's going to be massive bullish divergence on the monthly time frame. The month will not close until for another 8 days and 9 hours. But if that is confirmed, I'd be looking for a big shot up, possibly to the mid Bollinger Band right there. Well, that's 35,000. That's a little bit higher than I was thinking. Maybe around 30,000 bucks. But I guess I'll save that one for tomorrow. And I'm going to go over this weekly hash ribbons indicator. By the way, if you guys got any other questions out there, feel free to post a comment, and we'll try to get to as many as we can today. I'm about 30 minutes into this stream, and I'm going to have to get going. But, okay, so failures, right? And here's the interesting thing on this hash ribbons indicator is this, has only had one major failure in my opinion on the weekly time frame, that is, and this was it. So the way this thing typically works is once you put in a blue buy signal, you never break the prior low, right? So we had this one right here in December 2019. I'll just mark it off for us. And so technically speaking, when you backtest this thing, once you put in that low and you get the blue buy, it should never break that low. When did we have a black swan event in March in 2020? Yes, that failed, right? But let's see if there's any other failures. I mean, we can mark all these blue crosses off here really quick. So we got this one. We got this one. And I'll just mark a couple more off here. And yeah, so it never makes a new low without printing a new all-time high. Okay? I'm going to mark off this one. And let's move this one back here. Okay.
Wookie144 says, is Bitcoin still bullish?
Well, it depends on what time frame you're looking at. You know, if you're looking at a 5-minute, I don't know. If you're looking at a 2-hour, 4-hour daily, right? Is Bitcoin still bullish? You know, if you check back on our YouTube channel, we went over some, you know, short-term targets for the day, I think. We may not have gotten into that yet. But I do think there probably is one more leg, one more splurt higher, you know, up to the $24,000 level based on some of our other indicators. But again,
over the past 48 hours.
If you look at the 2-day time frame, yeah, I mean, really quick here. Now, I want to answer this question before I get into that. All right. So the way the blue buy signal works, you're never supposed to take out the prior low. I mean, essentially, once the blue buy signal is in, well, then we shouldn't break that low. And in a sense, this was the only failure. The 2020, we had a black swan event. You can go back test it yourself, but you can see once the blue buy signal is in, you never take out the prior weekly low without printing a new all-time high. And that's what's happened every single time, going back to the dawn and the days and the history of Bitcoin. Never on the weekly time frame, never, ever, ever have we printed a new low without making an all-time high first. And I will try and make this one easier to see. Yeah, there we go. So even going back to 2015, back in my early days when I got started in crypto, and I didn't have any clue about any indicator. And by the way, guys, put in the time. Learn how to trade. Learn what TA is, some of the basic fundamentals, so that you can participate in the next bull run and not get wrecked in the next bear market. As I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced, when Bitcoin goes from $5,000 to $50,000 in less than a year, right? Everybody thinks they're a genius, right? Everybody thinks they're a rocket scientist, but at some point, those paper profits, right? They're going to turn into realized losses and a lot of frustration along the way, unless you have what's called risk management. Needless to say, blue buy signal picks it up in 2015. We never take out the prior low, and we make massively new all-time highs, right? So, I mean, look at this one. This doesn't look like a big gainer, but I mean, Bitcoin ran from $200 to $20,000. Not bad. Not bad. Not a bad day to be in crypto back then. So here's kind of the difference. You know, Bitcoin's becoming this long-term gainer of an asset. A long-term, the market cap's essentially getting bigger. So the moves are not going to be that astronomical. We just printed a blue buy signal on the weekly time frame, and that is a good thing. Now, all right, so back in the short-term analysis, I'm going to try and run through some of the big names, the big ones right now, and just get going here. This is taking a lot longer than I thought, but essentially what I'm looking at on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, I'm going to put up my other chart here, my primary chart. I call it number 6. By the way, there's a link in our YouTube channel where you can set up TradingView for free, just like this, with the moving averages, the RSI, the stochastic, and the BBWP. It's all free stuff. So you can follow along and start to kind of learn how to trade and do a little TA on your own. But essentially, any kind of a daily closure above 23.4, I'm looking for a shot into this green box. Call it 24.5. Okay. Any kind of a daily closure back below 22.3, call it 22,300. I'm looking for this to come down. And really, this is kind of the line in the sand right here at 20,300. As long as we are making higher lows and higher highs on the daily time frame, I'm going to be bullish and looking for that move to get hit. What else is happening? Yeah, you see the RSI and the stochastics are in the critical zone. Volatility is beginning to decline, so that is an indicator of a mean reversion bounce. So, in the next day or two is going to be pretty critical for this guy. What else do we have in our favor for a more bullish stab to the upside? 2-day time frame. Stokes are going to cross down today below 22,814. That would not be good for Bitcoin. And really, if we see any kind of a tick below this guy at 22,300, yeah, very, very likely we at least get a move down to about 21.6 first before going higher. Okay, and what else do I see on the 12-hour? Stochastics are crossed down and will cross up above 23,000. The 4-hour, let's see if we can get a short-term bias here. Stokes are crossing down, volatility's down, and yeah, that to me looks a little bit more like she wants to take one more stab up. Any kind of a 4-hour closure below 22.3. Again, 22.3 is kind of the new pivot in my mind here, so I'm just going to move this line up here. And 22,300, any kind of a closure below there, I'm looking for 21.5 to get hit. However, yeah, and we will cross up above 23,000. So 23,000 and 22.3. So about a $700 range here, and going to be the deciding factor probably for that last push. And I could be totally wrong. I mean, Bitcoin could rocket through this green box. But what I want to bring up as well is some of the underlying market dynamics. Let's take a look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index coming in at a 50 handle right now. So people are neutral, not scared, and they're not fearful, and they're not greedy. I don't know how much I trust that one, right? Additionally, we've got funding rates, open interest, and leverage. And I did notice this morning is the, come on, internet, come on, give us a,
Vladimir wants to see some gala games.
It's gala, excuse me, it's gala.
Sorry, gala games.
It's not gala, it's gala games. And actually, one of our Bitcoin advisors knows the founder of Gala and tipped us off last year. We took an excellent trade on Gala, got a 10x last year. It was an awesome trade. I'm a big advocate for Gala. Good way to get wrecked, though. If Bitcoin goes down, you're going to get smoked. These things will not hold up if Bitcoin decides to give us some downside displeasure. But yeah, so I think we had one other question out there. My internet's just running slow as molasses now. So I'm going to try and speed this up and all right, let's do a little Gala. Let's do a little Gala games. Dude, my internet, this is not cool. Not cool at all. So Gala up 7% today. I'm going to have to internet, come back to us, please. So on the 4-hour time frame, what am I seeing? So we've got the RSI, which rejected getting into the bearish control zone, and we are taking a stab back up to the bullish control zone. We got a 4-hour candle, which will close in the next 10 minutes. Volatility is beginning to increase, as we are making a potential higher high, and we've got a slew of higher lows, and I would confirm hidden bullish divergence coming all the way back from this pivot right here. The 3 drive variety, 1, 2, 3 at least. Let's see, 1, 2. Yeah, I would say at minimum 1, 2, 3, 4 drives. And for me, we have coined something called the 4 drive philosophy, which would give us a shot up to the 1618 fib as we break this little consolidation, which we already hit right here. So let's mediate it with this guy right here. And I would say Gala Games short term looks like as long as Bitcoin holds this up, you know, as long as Bitcoin, which is our thermometer for the rest of the market, you know, Gala has a chance at making a run at 61 cents on the shorter term time frame. I would mediate that with a 4-hour closure back above, call it 0.5521, and I'd be looking for 60, call it 0.6118. A lot of decimals there, guys, but hey, that means there's a lot of opportunity. However, any kind of a 4-hour closure back below the 382 right here, and this one could roll over pretty hard. So again, it all depends on the dollar. It depends on, you know, Bitcoin. It depends on what the rest of the market does, because these guys, I mean, when you get a run like this, you know, when you get a run, Gala Games, which I did say is, you know, these metaverse coins have been crushing it. 265% since, call it January. Not bad. Not bad for Mr. Gala Games. All right. So invalidation below 0.048. And if you want to be a little bit, you know, let's say you want to mark it in right now, you know, a little bit better, you know, you can put a stop loss right below the 0.5 or right below the 382. Yeah, right here. And target a move up to 61 cents. I am a little bit, you know, on the cautious side for some of these coins because, well, Bitcoin may be, you know, after we hit that 24,000, they're going to cool off. You know, maybe putting a cool off in. I think we're going way too long today. I'm going to post a video in the description explaining how you can win the 1-ounce silver American Eagle proof. By the way, if you want a free investor guide, just go to there's a link to our website, bitcoinadvisors.com. You can put cryptocurrency in your IRA or 401k. So, guys, it doesn't make sense to leave it on Coinbase or wherever it is. If you're in America and you don't have a IRA or a Roth IRA where you can grow your crypto tax-free, right? It's just a no-brainer decision. That's why we started helping people out some time ago, back in 2018. You can use our custodian, Kingdom Trust. They're 100% insured by Lloyd's of London. And you can start a Roth IRA. For all you youngsters out there, start it now. You can contribute up to, I think, $6,000 a year, depending upon your income. Or you can do a traditional IRA. If you have an old 401k from some old job, right? You want to put $1,000 in some crypto? Why not? Well, that doesn't really make sense with the fees involved, the storage fees. Minimum we usually like to do is around $2,500 to $5,000 in a Roth or traditional IRA. And we just help you with the paperwork. You can do the rest on your own. So link there. Okay, if you want to win the 1-ounce silver American Eagle proof, all you got to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel and share the YouTube channel via email with 3 of your friends, and then screenshot a copy of the emails that you sent out. 5 friends. That's all you got to do. Share it with 5 friends. We're going to do a drawing at the end of today. Let me tell you, last week we did one of these. Only 3 people entered. 3 people. And guess what? Because only 3 people entered, I just gave everybody a silver proof. What is a 1 ounce silver American Eagle proof? It looks like this. They come from the U.S. Mint. This is a 2013. Nice blue velvet case. And they are like that. Right? And where do you need to email? You email, you can print screen this or give us a call and find out. Just email a picture of your screenshot that you shared our YouTube channel via email with 5 of your friends, and we will get you out this 1 ounce silver American Eagle proof. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you did, like, subscribe, tickle the bell. Have a blessed day, and we will catch up with you tomorrow. Take care.